at this countdown, we have the plot to kill. This photo was taken of Thomas Bart Whittaker on the left and his younger brother Kevin on the right, just hours before Thomas planned to have his family killed. So apparently the two brothers were just goofing off and their mother wanted to take a photo of them. Then later they went out for dinner as like a little celebration for Thomas completing his exams, which was a lie. Anyways, while they were at the restaurant, Thomas had his friend enter his home and retrieve a gun and stage a burglary. He then waited at the front door for Thomas's family to return home. Once they did, he shot Thomas's mom and brother. His dad managed to survive. The photo shows Thomas's happy younger brother, but little did he know that his older brother literally had a plot to kill him. It's so disturbing. In our 9th spot, we have Victor Barrio. But before we go any further, if you guys are liking this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and of course, subscribe to our channel. Come on guys, it really helps us out, so hit that button, subscribe, ring that little bell. Victor Barrio was a 29-year-old Spanish bullfighter. Sadly, on July 9th, 2016, his bullfighting days came to an end when a 529-kilogram bull's horn pierced through his chest. This moment was captured in front of a live audience and also was broadcasted on live TV. Some people managed to get photos as this happened and it's horrifying. You can see the look of pain on his face as the bull's horn just plunges through him. Like, I feel so bad for him and for all the people that had to witness it. It's so scary. In our 8th spot, we have the Panama hikers. Chris Kremers and Lizanne Froon were two young Dutch females that saved up to take a trip to Panama. Except while on a hike in the Panamanian jungle, the two disappeared. It wasn't until months later that their bodies were found, but it's still unclear how the two died. The last photos taken of them were in April of 2014, the day that they went on the hike. They are selfies of the girls looking very excited to be on the trip. These photos were found on their camera, which was found in a backpack along the banks of a river. The camera also contained other pictures, like of the jungle in the dead of night. Maybe they were using the camera's flash as a source of light. Another photo showed the back of Chris's head and it was bleeding. Again, it's so scary looking at these photos. Like, these poor young girls had no clue what was about to happen to them and they were so excited for their trip. Coming in at number 7, we have the drowning. On October 22nd, 2003, Tina Watson and her husband, David Gabriel, went out scuba diving on their honeymoon. They just got married 11 days earlier and scuba diving was part of their honeymoon itinerary. Now, in this photo, if you look right at the back, you can see a diver laying on the seafloor. That's Tina Watson. A few minutes before this photo was taken, it's believed that her husband turned off her air supply and held her underwater until she drowned. Then he swam up to the surface to alert other divers that she was in trouble. The photo was captured accidentally and you can see the divers going to help Tina. Some say he held her underwater until she drowned. Others say he saw her struggling as a new scuba diver and just kind of left her there to die on her own. Either way, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter and that was the last photo ever taken of her. In our 6th spot, we have the Dyatlov Pass incident. In February of 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers set out to traverse the snowy mountains of Siberia. However, they all ended up mysteriously dying one by one. This photo was one of the last photos taken of them. Now, this case has been debated about for years, and there's tons of theories as to what happened to them. Some say they were hit by an avalanche at night and died from exposure. Others say a Yeti got them. In fact, there was a picture of a creature that looks like a Yeti found on one of the explorers' cameras. But it's a very odd case. Like, their tent was found ripped open from the inside, 2 bodies were found and they were only wearing underwear in the freezing cold. Another explorer's body was missing her tongue, eyes, and lips, and 2 of the other bodies had major chest fractures. To cause someone that much damage, it would be like equivalent to a car crash. And another hiker had a really high level of radiation on their clothes. It's just crazy, and to this day we don't know what truly happened. We all have these theories, but the only ones that really know are the hikers in the photo. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the submarine murder. Back in August of 2013, freelance journalist Kim Wall got an interview with Danish inventor Peter Madsen. As part of the interview, Kim was set to take a trip on his homemade submarine. This photo shows Kim aboard the submarine just before her trip. Sadly, once inside, Peter killed her and dismembered her body. Why did he do this? Well, some say he became fascinated with murder and torture. Evidence showed that he had been watching videos of women being killed on his computer, and shortly before he beheaded Kim, he watched a video on it. So it was clear that he had a fascination with it. It's sad that Kim him had to be his victim. In our fourth spot, we have the Facebook murder. A couple of hours after this picture was taken, Cheyenne Anton left, used the black belt she is seen wearing in that photo to strangle Brittany Gargle. The two were best friends but apparently got into a heated argument and Cheyenne hit and strangled Brittany. Imagine taking a selfie with someone you thought you could trust just for them to go and kill you a couple hours later. It is so sick. Now Cheyenne actually got away with this murder for 2 years until police finally found this photo on her Facebook and noticed that the belt that she was wearing was the same one found at the crime scene. She then pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Moving on to number 3, we have parkour gone wrong. Pavel Kashin was known for his dangerous stunts and abilities. In 2013, he challenged himself to do a backflip on the edge of a 16-floor building. He successfully completed the backflip, but as he landed, he lost his footing and fell over the edge. He died instantly. This photo was captured by his friend while he was performing the stunt. You can see he's in midair doing his trick. Sadly, that was the last stunt he ever performed. And at number 2, we have the stalker. On February of 2017, best friends Abby Williams and Libby German headed out for a hike in Indiana. This photo is of Abby Williams, taken right before they were both murdered. What's very disturbing is that in the background of these photos, you can literally see their killer lurking there. Apparently the man was stalking them for quite some time, and in the girl's photo roll, they actually got some pictures of him, probably because they felt like he was following them. So in the last photo ever taken of Abby, you can literally see her killer behind her. It makes me so sick. Worst of all, he's never been caught. There's currently a reward for anyone that can identify the man though, so hopefully they can get some justice soon. And in our number 1 spot, we have the gruesome scene. This photo is going to send shivers down your spine. But before I show you, let me give you a quick backstory. So this photo was taken of Travis Alexander while he was taking a shower. It was taken by his girlfriend and murderer Jody shortly before she stabbed him 27 to 29 times. She also slit his throat nearly ear to ear and shot him in the head. It was a very gruesome and sinister murder. In this photo, you can see how uncomfortable Travis looks. It's almost as if he knew she was up to something. He looks absolutely terrified. Now, the camera that captured this photo was actually tossed into his washing machine as an attempt to destroy it, but it didn't work, and some of the photos were still salvageable, like this one and one that she took of Travis's dead, bloody body. I saw it. You don't want to see it. Starting off this countdown, we have Pablo Escobar. It was a very smart decision for Christian de Boudoir and his wife to purchase Pablo Escobar's old abandoned mansion. Legend goes that Escobar would hide tons of money all over the place, so chances are there's money stashed away somewhere in the walls. And in 2016, they made a pretty miraculous discovery while excavating the property. They found a safe hidden beneath the entrance of the house. The safe was about 2 feet by 2 feet and weighed about 600 to 700 pounds. But sadly, its contents were never revealed. But because it was hidden on the property, chances are it contains a boatload of money. Moving on down at number 9, we have the vintage house. Urban explorer and photographer that goes by the name Freaktography has found some amazing discoveries over the years. Most of the stuff he finds are very old and dirty and damaged, but in rare cases he comes across some very interesting finds. In this case, he was exploring an abandoned suburban home from the 70s. Inside, it was filled with vintage gems, like vintage collectibles like old Barbie dolls, Polaroid cameras, and a bunch of figurines like Yoda, E.T., and a Star Wars figurine set. Those things must be worth a lot by now. Moving on to number 8, we have the farmhouse. So back in 2017, Reddit user Evil English decided to explore his grandparents' old abandoned house in Tennessee. While doing so, he noticed a block of concrete in the floor by the staircase. The concrete had a round cap on it, and when he pried it off, he noticed it was a safe. Yeah, a secret safe that was built into the wooden floors. The family then hired a locksmith to open the safe, and inside was a collection of valuable items. He found coins, silver bars, cash, and antiques, all worth thousands of dollars. Coming in at number 7, we have the money in the walls. In 2007, antiques dealer Jeff Beetleman was asked to scope out an abandoned house by the late daughter's owner. She had always heard stories of treasure being buried in the walls, and she wanted to see if it was true. Plus, it was an abandoned house, so she had no problem with tearing a few walls down. And turns out that this legend was true. They found a bunch of old coins from 1826 to 1964, worth $200,000. Turns out that her relatives would use a slit in the wall as like a giant piggy bank. In our sixth spot, we have the cellar. When you're exploring an abandoned house, especially the attic or cellar, chances are you're more likely to find a dead body stashed away there than anything worth money. But that wasn't the case for some workers in France. Workers were demolishing an old abandoned house when they came across exactly 600 gold coins in a container in the cellar. The coins were from Belgium and dated back to the 1870s. They featured the king from back then, King Leopold II's face on them. It said that these coins are worth about 100,000 euros, which is about 118,000 American dollars. We're now at our fifth and halfway mark with the movie posters. Back in 2007, a man named Blair Peter moved into a home in Alberta, Canada and began renovating it. The house was originally built in the early 1900s and it needed some work. But while lifting up some floorboards, he found tons of old original movie posters. He continued on renovating the house and found more movie posters stuffed in the crawl space and under the roof of the house. So it's thought that they were used as insulation, and obviously it wasn't worth money back then. But now, cha-ching. He found more than 360 posters. Apparently the man that owned the house was the owner of a local movie theater. So some of these posters were the ones hung up in the lobby of the theater. It was thought that Peter could get around $50,000 for some of the posters. That's one plus of buying an older house. There's a chance it's filled with hidden treasures just like this. In our fourth spot, we have the time capsule house. Again, another abandoned house where the urban explorer Freaktography struck gold. So story goes that he had driven by this abandoned house a number of times, but had no clue it was actually abandoned. That was until one day he noticed the windows were boarded up. A month later, the door was open. Time for him to enter. When he went inside, it was like he entered a time capsule. The house was filled with vintage items. He found old board games, antiques, and artifacts. Items that would be worth thousands. But as he always claims, he never moves anything from the house. He just photographs them and then leaves. He takes nothing but photos and leaves nothing but footprints. That's his motto. If he did take these items though, that dude would be rich by now. Coming in at number 3, we have the Mayan artifacts. Imagine being a junk removal specialist. Like, that's an actual job. You get paid to come in and clean up other people's crap. It doesn't sound that rewarding, but in this one case, it definitely was. In 2009, a team of junk removal specialists were called into an abandoned Soho apartment to clear things up. But inside, they found a bunch of valuable artifacts, including an ancient Mayan artifact, ancient figurines, and some valuable bowls and jugs. Altogether, these items are said to be worth around $19,000. Yikes. And to think that almost ended up in the landfill. Coming in at number 2, we have Superman. In 2013, a contractor was tearing down some walls in an abandoned house that he planned to renovate and then move into with his 4 children. While doing so, he found that the walls were stuffed with newspapers for insulation. But among the newspaper was a 1938 comic book showcasing the debut of Superman. It said that it was a virgin copy. That's like actually what they call it, but okay, sorry. It said that it was a virgin copy. Despite it being in not the best condition, the comic still sold at auction for $175,000. He actually would have gotten more from it, but in an argument with his relatives, the back of the cover got ripped, which decreased its value by $75,000. But still, that's one lucky man. And in our number 1 spot, we have the rolls of cash. I swear, urban explorer Freaktography has the best of luck. So he was out exploring an abandoned home near where he lived. He said that the house was abandoned for almost 30 years. While in the house setting up to take some photos, he noticed something odd sticking out from behind the mattress. It was a tin, and inside were bundles of tightly rolled up American and Canadian money. He said there was about $6,800 there. Now, he could have just made off with the money, but instead, he did the right thing. thing. He tracked down the original owners and returned the money back to them. They had no clue the money was even stashed there, but they were incredibly grateful.
Starting off this list, at number 10, we have this image of this. Looks like an Indian guy is putting his head inside of an alligator or crocodile. I don't know if I can tell the difference between a crocodile or an alligator. I'm just gonna say that's a crocodile. And I've seen this done many times before, and I read the news many times, and sometimes this ends in tragedy. This is for sure one heck of a scary picture to look at, because this is like a real life moment that can go bad at any time. All right, number 9, we have a bearded man, and it's clearly not, it's not his beard. That is insane, actually. Okay, this is obviously, it's bees. And I don't know if this guy's getting stung like crazy. This is for sure a stunt I wouldn't do. Inside that beard, you can see a little grin. I don't know if I would be grinning at this time. This is pretty horrifying because I know if I see one bee, I'm screaming the other way and running as fast as I can. All right, moving on to number 8. Let's see what we have. Oh, that is so stupid. Okay, I can see why this is scary. You know when you go to a gas station and it shows you the sign, it's like, turn off your car, and don't smoke, like don't light anything. Why? Well, because there's gasoline right there. And I've seen many times on the internet, a lot of people smoking and their whole cars, it's just lit on fire. This is just hashtag so stupid, spelled with 4 O's. Let's just move on from this one. All right, we have right now number 7. Again, this is really scary. This is a guy, I don't know what he is trying to do, but he's standing on his window, and that's glass. He could fall through at any time, and on the way down, he'll just like rip his arm off or something like that. And he seems to be in the picture on the right, maybe the left of you guys, he's hanging onto the ledge because he knows like too much weight he'll break through. But the other image, he feels pretty comfortable in what he's doing out there. I'm just hoping that at the end of the day, this guy ended up being safe. Is that like a air freshener on the window? I'm not really sure what, is that an owl? I don't know what's on the window. It's confusing me a little bit. Let's move on. Number 6, we have another crocodile slash alligator. Do you know how to tell the difference?
Their snouts.
Their snouts? Producer Liam says they're snouts. So what is this then?
This is an alligator.
This is an alligator? Alright, let's see if he's right. Put hashtag Liam is wrong or hashtag Liam is right. So this guy is feeding this thing. I don't know if he like grew this thing when it was like just a little pup. I don't know what you call a baby alligator or whatever. But like you have food in your hand to feed the animal that can kill you. Like little does he know that you're actually bigger food than what you're holding in your hand, and he much rather snack on you. This is just incredibly stupid. I'm hoping that he raised this thing from just a little thing and they're friends, and hopefully maybe this is an everyday event, like don't kill me, I'll keep feeding you situation. Let's move on to number 4 before we hear a bang. I don't know what to make of this one. We have a guy eating a tiger, and is it just me or does that tail look like it doesn't belong to that tiger? Is this like a prank thing going on? Because why is the tiger orange and like normal color, and then the tail is like a Zabumafu color? I have no idea, but again, I think this is like a trainer who raised this thing and it's just harmless, but there are situations where these things could get aggressive. There was just recently at a circus where these tigers, they're trained, but the tiger, they turned on the trainer, and yeah, it actually didn't end well at all. All right, moving on to number 3. Let's see what we have. I don't know, I can't really see it. A ladder. Oh, that is so stupid. I thought it was on the ground or something. So we have like, this guy's on a ladder on the 2nd story, and he needed to get up to paint. He never heard of like those long poles before that you could just safely do from the ground and roll it. He just thought, hey, I have a brilliant idea because I'm a really smart guy. Let's grab this ladder, let's go to the 2nd story, and let's get this job done. This is just really stupid. I'm really hoping this picture didn't end up in a tragedy. I'm hoping not, because these guys thought it was funny and they posted the picture. But yeah, there's no harness, there's no nothing, and it just looks really stupid to me. And is that guy even holding him up? Like, if the ladder falls, does he really have him? I don't think so. All right, number 2. Let's see what picture we have. Let's see if this freaks us out or scares us. Right now I'm a little confused. Is that a bat being wrapped up by a snake? Why is this scary to me? This is nature, and do snakes even, they eat bats, right? Snakes eat bats. I'm not really sure why this is a scary picture, but the bat is huge. Is bats scary to people? I don't know if they scare me. Snakes scare me though. If that thing came near, if a little like worm, like that you use, okay, not fishing worms, because I use that for fishing, but if I see something bigger than a worm that you fish with, I would be freaked out. And if I saw a bat that big, yeah, I'd probably be freaked out too, actually. And finally, at number 1, hopefully the best is last, we have This? What am I? Oh shoot. Okay, this is scary to me, guys, because you know how I like flying a lot, and this looks like it's taken from someone's window, like in their seat. If you guys can't really see what's going on, where the heck is the engine? Like the whole engine, like the whole like the fiber thing on the outside is just gone, like it's fallen off. I'm pretty sure this is an emergency right here, guys. This is absolutely probably one of the scariest things on here, and this was actually a pretty good number 1.